Hello, everyone. We are live. You see by the title. You guys kind of know what we're going to be talking about today. So you see the um, title and also the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about all about the tea, what's been going on. So yeah, so we're going to wait for a few minutes before we get started. Yep, we're going to be talking about all about the tea because it's just been, it's been being talked about. And then one of our subscribers actually sent us a message on Instagram. Was like, okay, you guys going to talk about this? I'm like, okay, I guess we're going to talk about it and give our opinion. What happened, what is going on, what went wrong, and all of our, like I said, all of our everything we're saying is from our opinion. And yeah, let's see. Did you have anything to say?
Yeah, so basically, all about the tea. It's been it appears that this has been happening since last week. In regards to this, so we're just actually going on live because I think one of our subscribers mentioned this to us. So we did a little bit. We kind of, I believe there's a video out. This is why this been talked about. So we're just out. So we're just coming out today to really speak on it. And everything that we are saying is just our opinion. It's not to be malicious or to say anything or to negatively talk bad about anyone. But it's just kind of from our observation. And so yeah, so that's just so it's just like we're gonna let everyone come in and then we'll move from there.
Yeah, it's definitely been quite a long week. It's pretty much like I said, we watched the video, what happened, and we're just going to talk about it. Mhm.
Yes, we're gonna wait some more people come in. As we're coming in, so we're just waiting a few more minutes, and we're gonna get started. Anyway, Sin, how's your day going so far? Sin.
It's been a long day. I have to say that.
Yeah, so on my end too. But anyways, happy Monday. Happy, happy Monday.
Yeah, it's the first day of the month, or the first. Okay, so Lucy, do you think we should do like an intro to kind of start off, like how this all started? Like, how do you think we should start this off?
So you definitely let's really talk about the intro. As far as I think majority of people have watched the video. If not, then that's probably why we should narrate. kind of like what happened, and then move from there.
Yeah, certainly. I do. I think so too. Okay, so let's go ahead and get week one. If you guys don't know what All About the Tea is, they're a blogger here on YouTube. They do like review shows, and they do a pretty good job. They host a panel. So the owner of All About the Tea is actually it's Monica, and she hosts a panel where she reviews shows and talks. She has like different people who have like their own different perspective about the topics that they're talking about. And I think there's like 4 panel members, and they all share their different perspective. So one of the panel members, her name is actually Ples. She announced sometimes last week that she's going to be leaving All About the Tea for, personal reasons and stuff. And she put in her 2-week request. So, she announced that on YouTube, and it was very like positive. It was like, very nice and just like really, really positive. And then I guess there was some other things that went on. Hold on. So yeah, so there was some other so then another panel member actually responded back to Plez's video, and was pretty much saying that she didn't tell them she was leaving and all this stuff. And then that caused Pledge to make another video. And once again, all of these videos have been deleted, but I'm going to play a little bit of, because I found a video that has like the full, I'm just going to play the audio of it that has the full, that has like, they took a whole screenplay of it or a screenshot of it and stuff. So I'm going to play audio for those who have not watched, or if they didn't see, they don't know what's going on. So that caused another panel member to make a video about Plez, and Plez was pretty much saying that Plez didn't tell them that she was leaving. And I don't even know if the panel member actually watched that video of Plez, because Plez was very like respectful about her exit. And she really gave like good accolades about each member of the panel. So she didn't say anything negative. She was very positive about it. So I thought, pretty much it was going to be a very positive exit. It wasn't. It wasn't that much of a positive exit. So then Plez, she makes another video, and she just pretty much airs everything out. So everything that she was harboring in, she just lets it all out. And then that causes the panel members to make another video, and they all just started, arguing. Here's a little clip of the panel arguing with Pless. I'm just gonna play it. So.
Line because I was trying to do too many things. My daytime job, my brand. I said, you're getting secondhand information. I'm sure it's enough cell phones in that house. Somebody got Instagram for you to go direct into my page and see what I said. I tried to keep it above board, but I waited on you to call me, even when you kept saying you're going to call me for 2 weeks, and you never did. I texted that narrative right there.
Okay, so so what you just heard is Plez explaining how she was telling Monica, who is the host of All About the Tea, that she's leaving. And she put in her 2-week notice, and I guess Monica didn't really do the proper HR work for Plez's exit, and Plez thought they were going to announce that she's leaving. She's going to be like her departure on one of the shows that they did, but I guess not. And when they did announce it, they said it was for mental reasons or so. And Plez never said that. She just said that she's leaving because she is going. She wants to spend more time working on her content, working on things that are going on in her life. And it was just like a time constraint. So she pretty much said time constraint. So let's just listen a little bit more. So
I said I'm available, and you didn't call. What was I supposed to do?
You was available. That was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
No, that was Sunday, and you
right, not
didn't
2 weeks
call.
ago. So don't do that narrative. Don't do that. Just
But I told you I
Yeah.
was leaving May 17th. So why you're the boss? Why do I have to go to Marcella School Board Bishop and say, "Hey y'all, I'm leaving"? You're the boss. When you asked me, should I make an announcement? I said, it's your platform, Monica. I'm gonna let you do it because as I was told, and I ain't gonna get into who all been talking out here, but it came back to me that I was taking over your platform. So I did not want to.
okay. So so some background about who Ples is. Ples is she's actually a lawyer. And she pretty much during the panel, she gives a lot of people really like her on the panel because she really, there's a way that she like her opinions and stuff, and she expresses like how she feels, or she's making a statement, like it resonates with people. She has a different perspective on the issues or whatever they're talking about. She brings out like a different narrative or a different perspective. So that's why people really like Ples on the panel, just because they just like the perspective that she gives on the topic they're talking about. So Ples she's a lawyer.
You're telling me about third-party information, but that's the same thing. You're listening to people. When you first came on this live tonight, you said,
You have an actual video that you can go see from me to see what I said.
Ples,
You have an actual video, and I did not go live, so don't create this.
Can I speak? First of all, it wasn't 2 weeks ago. It was Sunday night. It was Sunday night. That's number one. Number two, let me just say this real fast. It was not 2 weeks ago, like you keep saying. It was Sunday night. I wasn't feeling well. Like I said, I lost my voice. I was out in the sun. I was literally under the covers, just not feeling good. I really wasn't. I had to cancel Monday's show. People saw that I canceled Monday's show. But, it's just a lot. If when you first came on this live tonight, you said, be careful, y'all talking, careful what you say to certain people, who you say it to. I don't know who you're listening to. There's a lot of third-party people that like to divide and conquer. There's a lot.
So who was deleting the comments, Monica?
The comments that compare panel members saying that.
Just the one that said
I don't know. I really don't care.
Oh, okay.
I have a clue. But
all right.
The fact that you're feeding into that is just whatever. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I could bring up. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I could bring up too, but I'm not going to do that. It's just because it's petty. There's a lot of stuff that I could bring up that was said and didn't said, and this person said that, and this person did this. But I'm not going to do that because I don't sit around letting those things eat away at me or affect me. And it's been happening for a while. So it is what it is. I have to just delete this live. I have to get off of it. I wish everybody on this panel the best. If y'all feel some type of way about Marcella or Schoolboy or me and you don't like us anymore, that's fine. The love is still there. If you want to unsubscribe, like you said, to all, that's fine too. Feel free to go ahead and do that. Tomorrow night, we're back to reporting the same, T. Lakeisha, you've been quiet. Do you have anything to say?
Okay, so that was a little bit of background, like what actually happened in the live. And there's like a videos out there, so you can go and play the rest of the videos. But it was pretty much a long live, and all of these videos have been deleted. Like all these lives have been deleted, so you can catch it out there. But now we want to talk about, well, what really happened? Like what exactly happened and what could have been done to resolve this issue? So that's what we want to talk about today. Like what happened, what could have been done, how could this have been prevented? So Lucy, so you've heard the live. You saw pretty much everything that's been going on. Like, what are your perspective on this? Like, what could have prevented this? Hi, Chanel. Yeah, so I know it's definitely something that I think it definitely could have been prevented, for sure. It definitely could have been prevented.
Yeah, so I definitely agree. It is something that could have been prevented. So after listening to the live, I think that there was a lot of miscommunication going on because it seems that it's the way that it's Plez is saying it. It seems that she already told Monica that she was going to be putting her 2 week notice. So it seems like Plez knew, and I think the team knew that she was leaving. But then when Schoolboy came on live, it seemed like she was basically saying that Plez was not telling the truth, that she wasn't leaving. But at some point in the beginning of Plez's live, she also mentioned that Monica told them that Plez was leaving. So it seems like there was yeah, exactly. Tangel, you're right. Like it seems that there was definitely like Monica was definitely, there was so many things that could have done differently. Again, like Monica is the lead of this panelist, right? And I felt like there was some other stuff that was going on behind the scenes that of course we're not familiar with. But when Schoolboy went on live, I think that she exposed a lot of things. Because at first it was calm. I mean, Plez did come out a video saying that, I think she said that she was leaving and stuff. But I think when Schoolboy made that video, that's when Plez came out to make the video saying lies, disappointments. So I think that's when everything blew up, was when Schoolboy made that video. And so, Cindy, you go ahead because I feel like I have a lot more to say too.
Yeah, so the initial video, Plez was so like, I think that initial video is probably still on her channel right now, but Plez was so respectful. Like she made a video pretty much letting her supporters know, people who support Plez, letting her know that, maybe if you're asking why she may not be a part of the panel anymore, this is why she's venturing off. She is going to focus on, just time constraint. And she was just so respectful of the whole situation. And she didn't say anything bad. I thought this was going to go like, she didn't say anything bad or anything. And then I saw that she had, she put out another video. And I'm like, okay, what went wrong? I thought this was going to go well. I didn't watch Schoolboy's video, so I'm not exactly sure what she said. But I think that from what I can see, that caused Plez to make another video. So I didn't watch Schoolboy's video. Okay, yeah. So yeah. In the second video that Plez put out, pretty much it seemed like all of the panel, like, okay, so Plez, from what I understood, Plez, there was a panelist named So Debonair, right? And he was really praising Plez. Like he said that he saw, like, he prophesied to her, like he saw something good in her. He said that she was going to be, she had some like great things coming towards her. And he did this for about 45 minutes. And I guess that caused some rift amongst the panelists. And people were like, some of the panelists were saying, well, this is not really all about Plez. This is like, we're all like a family. Like you can't just like isolate, like single out Plez and say really nice stuff about her. This is not Plez's show. This is Monica's show. We're all a panel. So it seemed like there was a little bit of like, might have been some jealousy going on amongst the group. I'm not going to say they were jealous, but I'm going to say like maybe a bit of, jealousy going on amongst the group. And yeah, so what are your thoughts about that, Lucy?
It did definitely seem like it was definitely some jealousy going on, and unfortunately we do have to say jealousy because by the looks of the way things was said and done, with Plez, and also when Debonair came out to speak, it seemed like, because he said that he didn't really know what was going on, like why, because I think that they was also avoiding him, just like they was doing to Plez. It seemed like they were also avoiding him at some point. They were going behind his back and doing stuff, but they never really came out to really like, really let him know what was going on. And so it was just like a surprise to him. So he came out to also speak his piece, and he was kind of like basically what Ples was saying and what he was saying kind of matched up. Like it seemed like there was a little bit of jealousy going on, that everyone was praising. Everyone was praising, like he was praising her, and it seemed like her being a lawyer, she had the most like basically reasonable or logical thing to say out of all of the panel members. So, and then she also mentioned that her comments were deleted by Monica because some things were favorable to her, and it seemed like it was deleted. She'll go back and it was deleted. So that's interesting as well, because again, this is the moderators. I believe the moderators usually take care of those things. But then she also said, and I think someone else said, that Monica does that to their comments as well. So it just seems like there was a lot of backbiting, which is interesting because as I believe as a lead of the panelists, Monica being who she is, things like this can be controlled, right? To where we have panelists. And also one thing that was mentioned was that they also had outside meetings, I believe, like besides them actually having a panel, they had outside meetings. So it's like it was more than just a business. It was like they were also doing things outside of their normal business things. I mean, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like if you're gonna have things like that, make sure that you keep it business like. Make sure you keep it business. Make sure it's not anything that's singling anyone out, in which Ples felt like she was getting singled out. So, and yeah, and then when I was watching the video, I think it's Schoolboy's Live, it seemed like Monica was also in the chat. Like she was also in a chat, basically. I don't think she was telling Schoolboy to get off chat. I think she was in there maybe listening to Schoolboy, which is interesting because you would think, as the lead panelist, as someone the person who owns the platform, you would think she would, maybe let Schoolboy know that, this is not right. Like, let's not do this. But she was also part of it. So, yeah, like it's interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it is like, I think that it's just definitely a messy situation. Because it's just like, they have this panelist and they do a pretty good job, like, with their views and stuff. But I would never have thought that this would have gone down the way it did, just because like you would think like things would be handled more, like the situation would have gone a little bit better than it did, because it's just definitely a messy situation.
Where it went messy was when Schoolboy went on live, because again, like no one really knew what was really going on. Like no one really knew in depth of what was really going on, except when Schoolboy went live. Instead of him, basically keeping it cordial and maybe saying, hey, we'll let Ples talk, let us know why she's leaving. Basically, she was basically in there mouthing her own cohort, like her other co-worker. So it's just like, I think that's why Ples was a little bit upset as well, because, and then I feel like Schoolboy also did not know much of what was going on, and she was going off by what Monica, maybe what she heard from Monica, or maybe she thought happened. So I felt like on Schoolboy's part, it was just a little bit, she went in too fast. Like she went in too fast without actually knowing what was going on. So that's how I viewed the live. I felt like she should have just kept quiet, just like everyone else, and not went live, not went after it, because this was not her fight. This was more of Monica and Ples's fight.
Yeah, it definitely was. Just because it was like, just let Monica handle it, because she is the person who Ples wrote the message or email to. And I think that she was hurt. Schoolboy was probably hurt because maybe she feels like maybe Ples didn't tell them that she was leaving. They didn't know she was leaving, according to what was said on the live and stuff. That she didn't know that Ples was leaving. So maybe that's where the hurt came from. That she thought that maybe because her and Ples, they probably had a better relationship than that. Ples would have told her that she was leaving.
Yeah, B Stokes. Yeah, she did go on, like she did go in too fast. Like she made the live too fast with actually, but it's funny because when they went back on live and Ples had joined them, Schoolboy did admit that this was not her battle, that this was the battle between Monica and Ples. So it seems, so that's where I kind of figured out that there was more going on besides them actually coming together and having a panel. They were actually doing other things in the background, like some other stuff going on in the background than actually holding down the panel. So it's so messy because you would think that this is a platform where everyone does have their own opinions, and at the end of the day we come together and we still be able to see each other as individuals with different perspective things. But it just went left. Now, one of the things I do have to mention was that I think one of the reasons why Ples was very upset was because they did mention that something about her mental health. I think Monica, because I remember that live, Monica did say that she had to go handle some mental health. Had to handle, mental health. Like she didn't mention mental health, I believe. So I think that was what kind of spiraled the whole thing. And I think Ples took it as Monica was speaking on her mental health. Hey.
Hey.
Hello.
Okay, y'all hear me? Am I
yes, we can definitely see you as well.
Hi. I just want to jump on real quick because I've been keeping up, and I ain't want to say too much on my channel, but I'll come over here and talk.
Like what? Because it seems like this has last week, and like we saying, it's been like with all about the tea with such a huge platform like this. And not that I'm saying things like this don't happen, but the way it happened and things that are going on behind the scenes, it just seems like I don't know if it's a lesson learned that, what should we learn from this, or what should we take away from this?
Okay. So I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay, sorry. There's some echoing. I'm not sure.
Let me go ahead and mute mine.
Okay. So maybe, okay. Because there's no more echoing now. So you can go ahead, B. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been on YouTube and watching various YouTube drama channels and all that stuff for years. And something that I learned maybe 2-3 years ago when there was the fallout between Tasha K and Lovely T is that he who speaks first controls the narrative. So when Monica, being someone who has been on the internet long enough to know, she knew that by saying, oh, well, Ples is leaving due to mental health issues and to get herself together, she knew just by that little nugget what that puts in people's heads. That's controlling the narrative. And on the All About the Tea channel, one thing that they're good at doing is creating a narrative and then running with that, whether it's speculation or truth or whatever that narrative may be. So that was to me what set this whole thing off. It was not all this other stuff about, oh well, you were paid this much, and all of that is just extra stuff that honestly us as the viewers did not have to know. I think all of this could have been avoided if it was just a simple announcement that Ples was leaving, to do her own thing. We wish her the best, and you'll see her on the channel from time to time, and that would have been the end of it. Now, I did not see specifically where Monica said something about her leaving on mental health. I did not see that. I've seen people say it. I've seen players address that, but I didn't actually see it. So then when I watched Plez's initial recorded video about her leaving, she didn't say anything negative. She was not negative. She just said that she needed to leave, time constraints. She gave her reasons behind it. There was nothing shady about it. So for the panel, specifically Monica and Schoolboy, because they were the most vocal, for them to come back and then to have not watched her initial video, but then have everything to say, that to me is where it got messiest, because you are on this platform as a pseudo journalist. One of the first things that you should do is not just trust what people are saying in the comments. You should be doing your own research. It was a 17-minute video from the beginning. How hard would it have been for you to go see, well, what did she say? If everybody's coming back over here telling me what was said, I can go over here and see what was said so I can address it. Because once they got on that live and now you're showing Cash App receipts and all that stuff, Plez didn't say anything about that. Plez didn't say that you weren't paying her. She didn't say any of that. She simply asked, if I do go to a limited capacity, how much am I going to get paid? I don't think anything was wrong with that. So overall, I think it was handled wrong. And I watch All About the Tea. I watch all of them, but I think it was handled wrong on Monica's side, because your initial statement was false. Then you are not doing your due diligence to even see what her announcement was. And then you are trying to control the narrative by making the conversation about something that the conversation never was about. As far as Schoolboy goes, she learned her lesson really quick, because I didn't even get through the whole 40-minute live from her. I got through maybe the first 25 minutes. And as hard as she was going, and to say that she didn't watch the video, I was confusion. I was so confused. I'm like, well, you didn't even watch. Like, she was going in like Ted said something about her, you know? So she learned quickly, because now you're losing subscribers because you again, it's about doing your due diligence.
Yeah, that's a good point. But do you think that there was, like I was saying, there was some background things that were going on behind the scenes? Because it seems like Schoolboy knew, although she went on live, I felt like there was other things, maybe Schoolboy, Monica, or they may have other conversations where Plez wasn't involved. Like they were saying telephone. Yeah, there were like telephone stuff going on.
I totally believe that, and Plez said on her in her response, I think it was her response live, she said how, you know, she did not really speak with them outside of the panel and occasionally some group chat. So yeah, there might have been some extra conversation, and you could tell that the way that Schoolboy went in, that there was extra conversation being had behind the scenes. And there's always going to be extra situations behind the scenes, especially when you have a panel of like 5 people, you know. So 2 might be closer than the other 3, and there's gonna be all of that. But it, to me, as the owner of the channel, as this being your platform, it's your job to like curtail all of that kind of drama and to make things plain.
Yeah, and I also feel like if Plez wanted to leave, which is, you know, it's fine. Like, it is okay. Like, if she decides, you know what, like, because of time constraints, you know, I have a full-time job. I have all she wants to probably build on her channel as well. It is okay. Plez did not say anything wrong. She was very respectful in her initial video. It was just very a peaceful exit. Like, she didn't say anything wrong. I don't understand I understand like what went left. It was just like miscommunication. They didn't even watch the video in order to see what Plez said. They just pretty much went. Maybe they didn't want her to leave. Maybe they just didn't want her to leave. Maybe they wanted her to stay.
You know they didn't. You know they didn't, because that's why Monica was asking, oh, well, can you do 1 day a week or whatever? But just even thinking about it, just like, again, this is the amount of money that was paid, information that we would not have known if Monica did not put it out. But let's talk about it since she put it out. Number one, players was getting paid more than everybody else. These other people didn't know that. You could see once that was said, some people sitting on that screen with their face cracked.
Right.
But even still, okay, $300 a month. They go on live 5 days a week for 2 to 3 hours at a time. That means you're getting paid $5 an hour at best. Players is. That means everybody else is getting what? $3.50 an hour at best. That is, and as a person with a law degree, a practicing lawyer, opportunity costs at this point, that's just that it's not enough for me to sustain this. That is a big commitment every single night for 2 and 3 hours at a time. And then I got to get up the next day and go to work. So give me a reason to want to stay here, because $300 ain't gonna be the reason, especially when I could be putting that into towards my own content or my own, business or whatever.
And they all got, definitely was a good exposure just being on the channel, especially being like a small YouTuber. It was a good exposure, but it's okay if one person wants to venture on and do something else. Like, it's okay. It's not like success. It's not about, how much money or how much, like, the big platform. It's about who you are helping out, like who is surrounding you and you're helping out. So you've helped out Schoolboy, almost 5 of the panelists at least get a start on their YouTube. And it's really tough, especially being a small YouTuber and trying to build a platform for yourself. Like, it's hard. So so some of those people who are already on the panel, they already have a head start because they already have at least some kind of following. So I think it's okay to like rotate the panel out, whether it's like every 4 months or so. But of course, this is not going to be their end goal. They're going to want to venture off and do something else. So
I think that was the issue. One of the issues was, like, first of all, like Players said, there was nothing in writing. There was no contract. As a lawyer, I'm sure that's a red flag for her anyway. But with there not being a contract, with there not being any type of agreement, if I decided I wanted to stop doing it tomorrow, then I want to stop doing it tomorrow.
Because there's no contract.
There's no contract. What was the end goal in general? Were we just supposed to be doing this consistently for a year? You know what I'm saying? There was no, that says that there just was not enough communication overall within the whole entire panel. There just was not enough communication. And a side note, because it made me think about now, So Debonair has come out and he's done his videos and he's done some interviews and things like that. Everybody knows that this situation, that channel is elevating them in some way and that they're getting something from it. So it could also be a like resentment on Monica's issue, like everybody's trying to use me for my platform and then go off and do their own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Has to start from somewhere, because her, just the same way that she's helping them, they are helping her too, because they're providing their perspective and their own opinion. Ples comes out like her perspective resonates with a lot of people, So the same way that Monica's helping them gain like some kind of like, she's helping them gain get the head start if they want to start YouTube, whatever they want to do. She's also getting help too, because she can't, it's tough, because it's tough doing this whole YouTube, like reviews and stuff, because you need to listen to other people's like opinions, see what other people's perspectives. So she's also getting help too, because
I do think that she's definitely gaining from it. I remember when I first started, thank y'all. I remember when I first started watching her channel, and I was watching her daytime panel with DJ Richie Sky and who else? They had Monique, and this is before they put Buffy on. Like, I was watching the panel early. And I thought that was good. So when she did the evening panel, I was like, oh, this is really cool. That's something interesting. It did introduce us to new people. They did get to start their channels. And from that point, I think from when I might have first started watching her, when she wasn't really showing her subscriber count to when she started showing it, she was like right under 50,000. Now to be over 100,000, it's because of them going consistently live every night with these things that they're going live about. So she definitely did gain from it and give them a boost. But it's just like sometimes, from what I've seen over the years of being on YouTube, sometimes it's like I want to give you a boost, but I don't want you to feel like you can do it without me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that's how Monica is, but I've seen that a lot. So it wouldn't put anything surprise me and put anything past me. And the way that the jab was taken, like Chanel is in the chat saying that she said it was mental health issues and people having to deal with demons. That is the shade. That is what makes, if it just would have been her leaving, no one would be questioning this situation. But by adding unnecessary shade to the situation, it makes me question your motives.
Mm-hmm. And plus, like plus is very, like, she's very professional. I mean, she's a lawyer, so she's going to be very professional about the situation. So that's just like, that's like in her nature. So I think that even just hearing her scream, that was just so out of character for Ples, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think she was pushed to the limit because they were sitting up here like they were even questioning her as a lawyer. Meanwhile, on the show, they always, okay, Ples, what's your legal expertise?
Right. You think this? I'm like, why? Just because she's a lawyer? Because she's a lawyer, she has that degree. I mean, but then again, that's what kind of, you know, like in Married to Medicine, just because Dr. Jackie keeps the show very credible, having Ples on the show helps kind of keep the platform credible because she is a lawyer. That's her expertise, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But yeah, listen, do you have anything to add?
No, it's interesting because I mean, I can definitely say Ples came with receipts. And I think what I really took from the video was when all of this was going on and Monica obviously got a phone call and it was like she wanted to get off the live because I felt like when Ples said she had receipts and, you know, Ples was very credible. Like the receipts were in, she had receipts. You know, she basically told it as she saw, like how it went down. And unfortunately, I feel like there wasn't much credibility coming from Monica's end. And you would think as that person who owns the platform, you would get more from her. But no, it just went left. As I mentioned earlier, in Schoolboys Live, Monica was also in the live as well. She was also in the chat. So it seems like there was some more stuff that was going on more than they were telling us. And I think Schoolboy revealed that on her live. Like she basically let the cat out of the bag. Basically. So it just seems like Monica, like I feel like for her, this is her platform, she definitely has some she definitely was a huge part of this. She was definitely the reason why all of this stuff went out the way it went.
Do you think that the channel will recover, like overall?
That is a good question because I was also sitting here thinking to myself, I said the way things are looking now, and again, the credibility is lost. And I think for me, I want as much as I come on here on YouTube and we're small YouTubers, we want our subscribers, our supporters to have that trust in us as well, as sort of the people that we work with. So once that trust I feel like is lost, I feel like you can't really bounce back from that. People will be treading lightly, and especially when it comes to you being that platform owner, you can really have a control of what was going on. And you were also playing like phone tags and stuff. There was some other stuff going on behind the scenes. I mean, of course, there's no credibility. There won't be no more credibility there, especially with your supporters. That credibility, trust is lost. And especially not just that too, but for those that want Ples's spot, that credibility is lost there. They may be itching like, oh, should I go back? Should I be a part of this panel? What if the same thing happened to me? Because it seemed like Debonair, the person who was there, the same thing happened to him that happened to Ples. So it's like right now, what do we do? Should I join or should I not? Now, on the same time, they're also losing subscribers, and the main reason why they're mainly losing subscribers is because of, I would say, I'm not trying, but I really have to be honest, is because of Schoolboy's Live. Let's be honest.
So I think that I do think that them losing subscribers is definitely directly because of how messy it got with Schoolboys Live and the live where they went to just hollering and carrying on. I think people were turned off by it. And but there are going to be other people on here. There are going to be other YouTubers on here that's going to, even though they saw how Pledge was done and how So Debonair was done, they're still going to try to get on there because it's still that exposure. Yes, she losing subscribers, but I think she still got over 100,000 subscribers. So these people are probably going to go in with the mindset of, okay, well, let me get in from what I can get or whatever. But overall, I do think that if you it leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. And if I were her moving forward, I would be a little bit more professional. I would have like maybe contracts with options to renew you to be back on the show or whatever. That way it doesn't, because one thing about it, Schoolboy was on the live talking about how you don't do family like that. And this, and if we supposed to be family, well, if y'all supposed to be family, well, none of us heard it, because family keeps family business betwixt in between each other. Y'all are not family. Y'all need to get this figured out professionally, which is what Pledge was trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Monica's channel, I feel like it's gonna, at the end of the day, just because she has such a big platform, like there are people that are still gonna be watching. Like her channel, I feel like it's gonna be okay, but you know, she is going to be losing like some credibility and stuff when it comes to, you know, some of the subscribers that she did lose. But at the end of the day, I feel like she's still going to be fine. Like the channel is still going to be. She may lose like a few subscribers here and there, but she's going to be fine. And I think it's definitely like moving forward, this is definitely can be a learning situation she can learn from when it comes to new panelists, like creating a contract, proper communication, having like meeting, maybe on Sunday having meetings, what they're going to be talking about, and just maybe limit the amount of time that they are going to be on live, because they have their own channel they probably want to build, and they probably also have their own endeavors they want to do. Just limit the amount of time they're going to be on live, because it is every day. Yeah.
Yeah, but does that also, like when we talk about losing, as far as like their support subscribers, do we also think about the credibility of the information that's also coming in, what they're saying on moving back, like what they present to us as far as the tea that comes in? Like, should we also think about that credibility, or how often we're able to rely on what is said?
I think honestly, if you watch the T channels and things like that, you should always take anything that they say with a grain of salt, because everything is allegedly, everything is secondhand information. And again, I enjoy the platform, and I enjoyed watching it. However, watching some of the narrative, the way that the narrative is spent on some of the stories, has made me like, okay, I'll take two of those sentences I can agree with. One of them sentences seems a little sketchy to me. And I think overall we should be looking at all information that we get from on the internet in that way. You know, we can't just digest it all and be like, oh, this is all factual, when, you know, especially on YouTube, at the end of the day, people say allegedly to cover, not just to cover their butts, but because they weren't there, you know, so they can't give you firsthand factual information.
That's, yeah, so that is that, yeah, true enough. So another thing I do wanted to point out, Chanel said Schoolboy admitted to crying because she lost subscribers, not because of what she did. So when you watched the video, what did you guys think about that? Because I do agree with that, because I think I watched it like twice, because I was just trying to understand and really relate to who, just trying to relate who I can relate to and see where I can come in the middle. But I do have to agree with what she said in regards to School Baby, because I think it's because she lost subscribers, and also because she found out that maybe stuff that Monica told her wasn't all the way the truth. Because I think when Monica asked her, why was she crying, she said that she doesn't know whether or not this was true or not. So I think that it does have something to do with her subscribers, but also she was not being told the truth. And unfortunately, I don't want to say it's like puppets, like they were doing the dirty work of maybe Monica, but like it seems that that's where this was kind of going in a way.
Okay, I need to mention really quickly. Summer Gibbons, I don't know. You said Monica's Clay Edwards. I'm not sure who I don't know who Monica is. I don't know. She conceals her identity, so I don't know who she is. And that's the way she wants to keep it. So yeah. And when it comes to Schoolboy, I think it probably does have the reason probably why she was crying, probably because of her subscriber count, or she was probably crying. I think that she might have been crying because she didn't watch the video and she saw that Ples didn't come off, like she didn't bash them or anything. So it could probably be maybe embarrassed or so. I think that's probably the reason why she was crying.
I agree. I think it was embarrassment. I think she was a little confused. She kind of jumped in too hard, too fast, too tough on something that she just did not have all the facts about. And so now you're being penalized for trying to be, a friend and trying to, stand up for what you thought was right, just to find out that you were wrong. And so, that could be kind of hurtful on all ends.
Yeah, nobody knows who. Okay, I don't know who Monica is, and she's concealing her identity, and that's just the way she just wants to keep it. I think probably should just, like, if she wants to hide her identity, let's just leave it at that. So, yeah.
Question. I know you just mentioned that, but I do have a question. So I'm not sure whether or not Monica has kind of showed her face behind the scenes to the panelists. Because again, when we're speaking about credibility, shouldn't that also be considered as well? Like how trustworthy we're able to trust you if you're concealing your identity, we can't even see you. Like, how does that work? Because this is one of the questions that I did want to get out the way. I don't know if she did mention this in the panel or if they know who Monica is, but I don't know. That's just something I was just a little concerned about. Because if they're all talking it seems like they do have conversations besides the panel, they have outside conversations. So I'm just like, do they know who she is, or they're just going by what's going on with the panel? I don't know if that makes any sense.
They have never Monica. That's so yeah, they've never seen her. So most of the panelists, I think she's just, she's probably just wants to conceal her identity. She says that, I think because of the blog, the kind of job that she does, like it's classified, I don't know, classified information or
I get it from both ends. I understand both ends. If you, as a viewer or as someone who's trying to take what she's saying and believe it, I could understand why some people are like, well, we don't even know who you are, so how can I find you as credible? I get it from that sense, but I also get it from her sense, because people be out here doxing people. She has a family, she has children, so she wants to keep her her business life and her personal life separate. So I can understand it from both ends. I I don't see anything wrong with her not showing her face and not showing who she is. However, I don't think that that is sustainable in the long run. Like for instance, if we look at some of the other YouTubers that used to not show their face and used to just have avatars, like maybe Layla Lynn or Daytime Tea Time, how they started off as avatars, but you will reach a plateau because then once you get to a point, people do want to feel like, okay, if you can spill all this tea about other people but can't even show us who you are, how can we believe you? So for her to have made it this far, still maintaining the avatar, it's amazing, honestly, but I don't think it's going to be sustainable in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, it's even tough when we have our pictures on here too. But like, I definitely understand, like, because just coming from our perspective and stuff, like, I understand that if she does want to conceal her identity, because people are out here, they will do like some like research on you, like they will know everything about you. So if she wants to keep protect herself, I get that perspective for sure, definitely. But in the like, she can just have but I mean, I think like even if she has a picture, people are going to still figure out, oh, this is this person, this is this person, and yeah, I mean, I definitely get it. But that's why she has that panelist. So she has a mixture of different personalities just to balance out maybe the reason why she is concealing her identity.
Yeah. So another, I wanted to dive into something else. And so, and I think when I was watching that, I realized that school is it. I'm sorry, Bishop. I think everyone had a lot to say except Bishop. Um, is there a reason why, or is it he just seemed it's to me he seemed like he didn't really either he didn't want to get into it or he felt like it was also going to maybe mess up his platform if he did say something. So I thought that was interesting because everyone else said something except Bishop, and he actually left alive.
I think he probably didn't say anything because he realized, I don't know what's going on. Let me not put my mouth and my foot in my mouth, because you can see what happened to school board for speaking prematurely. So I respect it. I respect it. He was like, "This, my name Bennett. I ain't in it. I ain't got nothing to say about it. Let me get up out of here."
But so this is what I was thinking when he didn't say anything. Like, listen, Bishop. Sometimes I know people are saying like sometimes if you're silent, like if you don't really share your perspective, you keep silent and stuff. You're initially just like guilty. So I feel like it didn't really have anything to do with Bishop. Bishop has not really been, from what's being said. Bishop hasn't been. He hasn't been like in the group calls and so, or the group messages, whatever they were on. So he's just coming on here giving his little perspective. He sees it as a job. Um, so he pretty much sees it as a job. So I'm not really upset with him if he didn't say anything, because at the end of the day, if he says something, like if he's supporting Ples, the other panelists are going to get upset with him, and if he's bashes Ples over something that's not true, then he's not going to be true to himself. Okay, someone wants to be added. Hold on.
Hello.
Okay. Hi. Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to say, because I see you guys saying that you guys, respect Bishop for leaving and staying silent because it didn't really have anything to do with him. But I don't know if I can give him that pass, because he says that he rocks with Ples, but to be honest, this is not a situation of opinion. This is a situation of right from wrong, and you can clearly see who was wrong and what was happening. And so she was being done wrong in that life. You kind of just sat there and didn't really say anything. It doesn't make sense to me.
I get what you're saying. However, I feel like there were a lot of pieces in the background that we did not see. So like, if you aren't privy to all of the information, why are you forced to speak out about it?
Not necessarily forced to speak out, but to kind of, I don't know, give like in like now you can see with all of the clips that are out. Now you can see what's truly going on, and he is seeing the comments and he's seeing the tweets because I've seen him liking all that stuff. And it's just like, okay, so if you're seeing this, then how can you still
Be
sit
like,
over there and act like nothing really happened? You see what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, I definitely get what you're saying. You feel like he was kind of silent, like he silenced himself. I mean, I get it. But
Well,
I
he
think
was silent then, but now he's silent now because
you feel like, okay, so he hasn't made a video, he hasn't said anything, he hasn't given his
no,
perspective.
he's made a video. He's made a video talking about it. He said kind of the same thing that you guys were saying. He didn't want to get involved. He said he didn't. I'm not even buying that excuse because it's like you sit on the panel and talk about housewives. I mean, that's as far as women's business as it gets. So it's like I'm not buying that. But
I bet this may be just a touchy subject for him, like a personal subject, just because it involves like Monica's probably is his friend and Ples is also his friend too. Like how we're saying it, like we can see who is wrong, but maybe in Bishop's perspective, he just is like, okay, well, Monica, I kind of work for Monica. I really don't want to say much to maybe bash her or anything. And then Ples is also my friend, so I don't really want to lose that friendship with Ples. So Bishop is kind of like right now he's in the middle, So I think it's just it's
I
tough.
guess that's true. But I guess it's just kind of hard to see when you know right from wrong and you see right from wrong. So I guess it's hard to see how somebody could be right there in the mix of it and just kind of stay silent when.
But I think Bishop is damned if he do, damned if he don't. Okay, you don't say anything. Now people are like, oh, why didn't you say anything? You do say something and it's in support of players, then people are going to be like, oh my God, how dare you go against Monica? If you do say something in support of Monica, you're going to be up there crying like schoolboy. So the best way to stay out of it is to not say anything.
I don't even want to get on that schoolboy. Oh my goodness.
But there is also a way where Bishop, because it seems like Bishop, they always call Bishop. You guys saw how Monica called him to lead the prayer. So I feel like they also feel like Bishop is like maybe a mediator as well, maybe someone who brings the tensions down. Because Monica did say that I think he's known again to bring like once it starts going up, he calms it down a little bit. Well, that's what I was getting. So I felt like there was a way that Bishop could have said something where he could have been in the middle and, maybe said, Ples, I do understand where you're coming from, and just said, okay, Monica, I understand this, but let's all, see how we can diffuse the situation and what can we do to move forward. Then in that case, everyone, even if he's friends with Ples, right, he could still be friends with Ples and still acknowledge that, he understands where she's coming from. And then with his boss, Monica, he could also understand where she's coming from and also still be employed, right? I feel like there's a way where that situation could have been mediated.
Okay.
But wasn't that what Princess was doing?
Wait, what?
I was going to say, isn't that what Princess was doing? She was saying, both of y'all.
Well, you see, but Princess is actually doing what I kind of thought Bishop was doing. Princess is not. She's not fooling with Monica anymore.
Oh my, what? Okay, I think I get what you're saying. Definitely get what you're saying, Lucy. Not Ples, but Bishop could have been a mediator just because he's cordial with Monica, also cordial with Ples. Do you feel like maybe he could have been a mediator? Like, okay, let's figure this out. Like, what actually is going on? But I just feel like that live, it was just so hostile, like so many emotions, like Ples, like it was just a lot of emotions. So it will make it difficult to have like a civil conversation because everyone wants to get their point across. But I feel like Bishop could, like if they do another live, maybe have Ples call in, maybe they can talk about it, try to get things resolved.
I really hope they don't do that. I hope they don't do that. I feel like they're going to make it worse. And Monica honestly still has the better than attitude where she thinks that she did no wrong. So I don't think that that's something that she should do.
Well, maybe everyone can come in with a new attitude, like a fresh attitude.
It's not going to happen today. Monica commented, she responded with a comment. She was like, I acted the way that I acted because somebody was feeding lies to impress people like you, something like that, along the lines of that. She commented that under one of her videos. And I'm just like, oh, so you really still think you did no wrong? Okay.
I think there was a third party that we don't know who it is. There's speculation as to who it might have been, but there's a
It
third
was
party
Marcelo.
who
I mean,
I
it was
speculate allegedly Lily. There's the third
allegedly.
party
It was Marcelo.
speculation, and that person was stirring the pot. And so while it would have been nice for Bishop to be the mediator, we, like I said, though, Princess in that live in that moment was trying to be the voice of reason, trying to be like a mediator type of person, and it wasn't going. Tensions were just too high. And if there is in the future someone to be a mediator, that does not need to be on live.
True.
Yeah, it needs to be like behind the scene or something. They can probably come on live and maybe they can talk about it. But I think that I don't know. I just feel like this situation just went too far left. So yeah. I don't know, Bishop, if he wants to remain, he can just, it's I don't know. I really don't know at this point. Yeah, you really can't mediate a situation when you know something, who's wrong and who's right and who's clearly wrong. That's enabling. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're trying to be a mediator in the situation because it is very clear. The right from wrong is clear here. I feel like I don't feel like there's misinformation where who's right from wrong. We can see that Monica was wrong, and that's why she's losing subscribers, and that's why she is going private on Twitter and having to.
What do you
deal with
think?
what she's doing, which is that people are.
Yeah, do you think that Mr. TS? Do you think that Monica would bounce back from this? Like, how do you think she can resolve the situation?
How do I think she can resolve the situation? I think that she can resolve the situation by actually coming on and not being dismissive and actually admitting that she was wrong, but she's not ready to do that, so it's not going to happen.
I disagree. I think the only way to for Monica to bounce back from this situation, and this is to be blatantly honest, is to take media training and to no longer address it and move on with your show. Because if you're not going to say I was wrong and you don't feel like you were wrong, don't address it anymore. Keep moving. And guess what? In 2 months, no one's going to remember this.
Right? Everyone's going to forget about it. It always happens, like something else is going to happen. People are going to stop talking about it. But, just this will be like a learning lesson. Like, if you're going to have
it'll be a learning lesson for her. Hopefully she can have more structure than what she had before.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of lessons to be learned, even with all the panelists and even Monica herself. Like B Stokes said, I think that there needs to be a lot of training, media training, and not just that, but hopefully some sort of training or maybe development of how to go about when you have this type of situation, because you see that they see this as a job, and hopefully, as a business, right? This potentially can ruin your platform. In which her platform has gotten very explosive, but now I want to say not in a good way, but also it looks like it's getting negative attention, right? So I feel like a lot of training does need to go on, does need to go in, where the panelists should also join too, in the way they go about stuff. Like, for instance, some background stuff that was going on, or the way that they share information. So I definitely think that, whether or not they were having conversations behind the scenes or, talking against one another, I feel like all that should be addressed at one table where everyone comes on board and knows about what's going on with all of them. So I don't think it should be anyone favorable, unfavorable. I think everyone should get the same treatment. Definitely some training that needs to go on, and yeah, they all need to work on it, including Monica herself.
But that's the thing when you're doing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Oh. Okay, something Clint said was she said that. Oh.
It's the thing with the.
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say though, that's the thing when it comes to panels. It's different. You have so many different personalities that you're trying to pull together, and sometimes it can start off as something just fun and entertaining to do. When we're all regular people on YouTube just talking, so you don't have that type of wherewithal to even think long term about how this will go. So I do think that this is going to affect how she operates her channel forever in the future.
Honestly, I'm glad you said that, because But I was gonna say was, Claude said that she didn't think that Monica should have had a permanent panel, especially having people come on every night. She said that she thought that it should be rotated maybe every like 6 months to a year. You choose a new panel, and I feel like that makes more sense than to just have the same people come on every night. Every night, giving kind of the same opinions and just agreeing with each other. It's not gonna work in the long run.
Yeah, I agree because because Monica does, I think she did say that this is to help, people grow, promote, which I totally understand. I totally support it. So that does make sense what Ples said, and it kind of also gives other people time to also come in. Where if there was tension going on between the group, it could be release of tension as well, where everyone comes back in and hopefully recuperate, and then there's a rotation, and then we just get different perspective, and then hopefully there's a change of scenery, because it seems like I also feel like this seems that there's been other stuff going on in the past, and then it's just like with them always being here 24/7, like there was maybe a lot of tension that was building up, so that also played a part.
I understand what y'all saying about rotating guests, but also people as far as viewership goes, they like who they like. They come back to see who they come back to see. So it's just like with any kind of panelist type of show, let's say The Real or The View or whatever, you have to build that connection with the panel. So while there could be maybe one seat that rotates, I don't think that it would garner the same amount of support if they were rotating panelists consistently like that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, you have a point, because like it's gonna be hard, like because people already, when they come to the channel, they already would expect, okay, schoolboy. So it's like they gravitate to the personality that they like. So, but I think that if you like maybe once in a while you can bring Ples back, or once in a while you can bring Bishop back, just kind of have like, just that kind of rotation, but still keep a little bit of the old members, just so, wait, hold on. Monica's a bad businesswoman. Yeah, just kind of have like, just the people who already support the old members or the old panelists. So
I think it's hard. Even even going back to the daytime TV shows, it is hard to sustain a successful panel without there being some type of tension to rise at some point, some type of confusion to rise at some point.
yeah, I think maybe they just have hit their peak, and it's probably just re-strategize and just go back to the drawing board. And maybe this was just like maybe something that Monica just has to really maybe take a break and figure out, well, what's next. So
See, I was saying this earlier. I think this was mentioned earlier. Someone said in the comment section that they wanted to try, I believe, try out for
all about the
yes, but until that happened. So this goes back to credibility and sort of the trustworthy, the question that we had earlier. So again, this is affecting Monica's platform. This is really affecting her platform.
Yep. Well, for those who are just coming in, make sure you like this video and also support us by subscribing to our channel. Also subscribe to B's channel as well, B Stuck Style. She's also a YouTuber, so check her out. Yeah.
Thank you. I just have a question, because I've seen this word in the chat a couple of times where people are referring to Monica as a narcissist, and I wanted to know why is it when people fall out with their YouTubers or whatever, and people do things that might not be the best, why are they automatically considered a narcissist? Like, can the people who have called her that give reason behind that? because I think that is a term that it's a PC term that a lot of people have just been introduced to, so it's overused and it kind of dilutes the actual intensity of what a narcissist is. Just sorry. That's the psychologist and the psychology degree in me.
Yeah, I get it. I think that like once someone like, okay, for instance, not Simon, but what's her name? Fallon. She called Simon allegedly a narcissist, you know? So it's just like, I feel like if that term is overly used nowadays, Monica displays narcissism.
Because there are a lot of traits that go into being a narcissist. It's not just the lack of accountability, because if we want to be real about it, a lot of people lack accountability. A lot of people fail in one way or another when it comes to being completely accountable to their actions or to how they present themselves in the world. So if that were the case, if that were the only criteria, we all could be considered narcissists. So it's a lot deeper than just, oh, well, she did something and now she won't admit it, so she's a narcissist. No, or she's human. And humans make mistakes and don't want to own up to it.
Yeah, or maybe she just doesn't. She probably just doesn't want to admit that she's wrong. Like, I think she probably just doesn't want to admit that she's wrong. Because narcissism, because everyone like overly uses it nowadays. It's like, let's look at what the real meaning is.
Look, I was pulling it up because there are many attributes that go to it, but most people only say a few things. So it is an exaggerated sense of self-importance. Really quick to address just that one point. A lot of times YouTubers are considered narcissists because don't you have to have a little bit of self-importance to think that people are going to want to come to your channel and listen to you talk? You know, so a lot of times that term, that particular criteria is put on YouTubers, and as a YouTuber, I just want to
put that up. Yeah,
put that out there.
Yeah, and also the sense that like lacking empathy. You know, we don't know what goes inside Monica's heart. We don't know if she lacks empathy or not, or other, YouTubers and stuff. So it's tough. Like, I don't know. I think it's tough, like calling somebody a narcissist if you don't really know them, you know?
Right. Right.
I mean, yeah, gaslighting. I definitely feel like, yeah, she was gaslighting Plez. Most definitely, she does gaslight a lot of the situation. That I can agree with for sure. Okay.
So, looking at the symptoms of narcissism, since we done got here, sorry, I'm just looking. So we said self-importance, a sense of entitlement that requires constant and excessive admiration, recognized as superior even without achievements, exaggerates their achievements and talents, preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or perfect mate, believe that they're superior, monopolizes conversations and belittles or looks down on people that they perceive as inferior, expects special favors, and take advantage of others, have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. They're envious of others and believe that everybody is envious of them, behave in an arrogant and haughty manner, and insist on having the best of everything. Those are some of the symptoms. Based on just that list, we don't have enough information to deem her a narcissist.
Narcissist, yeah. And also, like, if y'all, I don't know if y'all watch like the FBI channel here on YouTube, crime channel, you will some of the cases they describe you definitely will see, okay, this is attributes of a narcissist. So yeah, we don't really know Monica that well or anybody that well to even say, okay, yeah, like they're narcissists.
But
So.
also, I did want to. I mean, she did go behind the scenes because, again, for schoolboys to know this many information, definitely there was a lot of talking between schoolboy and Monica, and I don't know who else was involved. So, and then look how, again, someone made a good comment. She definitely referred to Ples as an attorney, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. So it just seems like it's, for some reason, Monica, she's not. I'm not going to say she's a narcissist because she doesn't. I don't see all of the reasons given to give her the name of a narcissist. Give her that name title as a narcissist. However, I feel like there was some things that she was doing where she was definitely excluding Ples and having them go against her. So it's definitely something's going on behind the scenes. And another thing I wanted to do, did say someone mentioned this in a comment, is about the family issue. She did mention that. I feel like she did kind of throw this jab at Ples. She did say, I have family, I have kids, I have a family I have to take care of. It was just like, was that all necessary? Like, it just seems like she was, because, you know, Ples has came out on her channel and she's basically telling all, like, you know, the struggles and some, like, you know, personal issues she was going through. And I felt like that right there was a little, she didn't come out and say it, but to me, it was like referring to Ples in a way.
Like it was, yeah. I definitely, like, I caught that part because Ples, she did share her testimony, how she had like her stillbirth journey, and she definitely talked about that. And when she did say that, I was like, oh, yeah, because she shared her journey for like her HELP syndrome journey, and she talked about that on YouTube. She has a video on there, and when Monica was like, you know, I have kids, I have a husband, I'm like, Monica, like that was definitely a low blow. So for sure. I think anybody can apply it. That's what she was targeting towards. So yeah.
I completely agree. That was below the belt. That was definitely below the belt because Ples has been so open with what her struggles have been. And again, if y'all are this family, then you know what people's triggers are and you know what you're doing intentionally. And I will say that is something that, again, over there on that platform, Monica has been good at. She's been good at saying things in a way to spark a reaction without actually saying it. You get what I'm saying? Like she just knows how to twist her words into a narrative that fits what she's trying to achieve.
I mean, yeah, that's a journalist in her. You know, she's definitely a journalist. They know how to report a news in a way that it's going to favor what they're reporting. That's the journalist in her. I think, like, from what I've seen when I do watch the channel and stuff. So I mostly started watching the channel for RHOP when they started doing the RHOP because they just had like really good perspective on there and stuff. So I would just definitely check it out. And then I think that was a daytime. And then they started doing the nighttime where they will actually talk about just different pop culture things that are going on. I didn't really watch too much of it. Like, I'll catch it here and there, but I liked when they did the RHOP and stuff. And some of the time, like sometimes, like when they do report, when they will report certain things, I'm like, oh, that is like really going really, really like it's going low. And there are some things that she would say, I'm like, oh wow, like I don't think she should have said this, or I don't even know how I would like feel if she said something like this. Another thing I did notice was, I think we already talked about it, it was like when she did have a screenshot or something she wanted to read, she wouldn't call anybody else, none of the other people. Ples, could you read? And you can tell Ples would feel so uncomfortable. And she would be like, sure. I'm just like, do you know, like, there's like legality like, let's say if there was like a legal dispute or something, they're gonna be like, well, you're the one who read, like, Pledge, you're the one, like something. I'm just like, I wouldn't even read it. Like, okay, when you pulled it up, can you read it? But it would be called out of nowhere. Just like, please don't read it. Don't read it.
That is true. That is true. Players was over there reading Rainbow.
I would be like, no, just like, or even any recording. She's like, well, what do you think? Like, what are your perspectives? So she's very smart in that aspect. Yeah. Hey, thick girl 40. Hey,
Hey, big girl.
Yeah, so that would that's interesting. I'm like, just don't do it, please don't do it. But yeah, that's our little perspective on this. But yeah, those are some of the things I realized when I was watching the channel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's quote unquote lawyer. Now she's quote unquote lawyer.
Lawyer. That's what she described. And that's not something that, especially, that's not something that you will, especially how educated Ples is, especially a lot of like women who are in the panel who do have really like high degree. Like, I would get offended if somebody, especially with like, if somebody discredits my degree and also my profession as well too. Yes, I would definitely get offended because law school is tough. Like, Ples, when she did share her journey, like how she would, she was very like, she was a standout in law school. So that's something that should be really, really proud of. Don't call her pseudo lawyer. Like,
Especially when you making her the reading Rainbow and always calling on her for legal advice, a legal opinion.
When you have, like, just like, why are you calling Ples? Like, there's schoolboy, there's Bishop, is it Marcel? Yeah, Marcella. Like, you can ask one of them to read it. Why are you calling Ples? Girl. Or anything from like any comments and stuff. I'm just like, Ples, that's just don't do it. Yes, yes, in Monica's eyes, absolutely. The he hell. Yeah, Monica. Ples was a blown lawyer, and she was beneficial to Monica when she needed. Yeah, for sure. Now she's a pseudo lawyer. And how can you be a pseudo lawyer? Yeah.
Well, it's Ples will definitely be missed, right? Now she's maybe that's why there was a rise on attention. Maybe they just didn't want her to. Well, let me just say, Monica probably didn't want her to go, and really venture off. And not that I'm saying she doesn't, but maybe to where she's no longer on the show completely. So I felt like there's definitely going to be, unless she's going to find someone with a similar degree, or maybe someone that has that kind of like what Ples brings in, someone similar to that. But the credibility for me is lost, and that's just how I see it, because this is, again, someone who started off as always calling on Ples for legal, like when it comes to legal issues, but now she's a pseudo lawyer. So at this point, I don't trust what Monica, if I was to even come on that panel, I wouldn't even trust that she's even going to hold me as in high regards, because the way she did Ples and how she kind of blew her off.
Yeah, I remember. So I did get a chance to check out So Debonaire's video, and from what it seems, I think from what he said, it seems like he was coming from a really good place. Like, he said that he bigs up everybody in the panel. He sent super chats and stuff. So it seems like he was really coming from a really good place. And I think it's just probably like, sometimes it could just be like jealousy and stuff. Like, maybe if one panelist is getting a lot of attention, and there may be some jealousy towards maybe a certain panelist. And I think another thing, Ples's channel was growing a lot, and Ples's channel was definitely growing a lot, and some of the panelists probably thought that well, we're not really grown as much as Ples. And maybe that was just the way, well, Ples just doesn't need to be on this panel anymore. So maybe they just want to get more shine.
What do y'all think about that? About so Debonair saying that some of the and Ples kind of backing this up as well. Some of the initial issue and fallout was because of him giving, like, kind of singling her out and giving her that moment of praise during that After Dark live, and things have just kind of unraveled since then. And one more thing before you answer that, I just want to say too, as far as Ples's channel growing, at the end of the day, it's YouTube. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you can watch this video and then literally go to the next video. Like, a lot of the viewers intersect anyway, so I don't see, like, it should not be an issue. But anyway, what do you think about that?
Okay, so this is my thoughts of what So Debonair said. I think that listening to Ples's perspective, you can definitely tell it was like a trauma for her, because she said that when she was growing up, she's always been singled out. Like, well, growing up, she would, because like, seemed like growing up, she was very like articulate, and she's very smart. She's very educated. So she always had like a lot of like backlash from that, like, oh, well, you think you're better than everyone because you made this club or this club and this club. So it's like she's reliving all of those traumas that maybe she relived when she was little, when she was in high school, when she was in law school. So it's like her being singled out and getting praised. It seems like that's not something, she doesn't like all of that attention on her. So Debonair doing that, it was like maybe it possibly could have been a trigger for her, because she said she saw it coming. She said she saw all of that.
I get it being a trigger for her, but like, why would that be a trigger for everybody else?
I think so the way I'm seeing it, it's probably a trigger for everyone else because maybe they've already probably have been having conversation about Ples being the breakout panelist, maybe getting a lot of support, or maybe they feel like they are not getting enough support the same way Ples is getting, like the support that Ples is getting. So it could possibly just be jealousy, jealousy. And let me not say jealous, envy. Let's put that, envy.
Yeah, because we do see here that in Schoolboy's Live, she did mention that I think she said that she didn't at first watch. I don't know if correct me if I'm wrong, that she didn't watch Ples's live, but she mentioned that Ples had up to 9,000 views or something. So it was just like, she said, I don't really care much about, I don't know if she said this, please don't quote me on this, about your 9,000 views or something. So it's just like, why does the views matter now? Like, what was it? Why does her views, what does this have to do with her views? It just seems like, for me, there's just, I want to say some envy going on there, but because it seemed like she was more related to some of the people there, like the supporters, the subscribers that would come when the panel was going on. A lot of people would relate to what she said, and she made the most logical sense out of everyone that was there in the panel. So I feel like there was definitely a little bit of envy going on there. And she seems to have more legal perspectives. I mean, it's, someone that went to school, a lawyer at that. I mean, people definitely will gravitate to what she'll say.
For sure, I think there was some jealousy there, and I think that was unwarranted. I definitely think it was unwarranted, because at the end of the day, you can't help what other people see in you and how other people want to pour into you. And honestly, in my opinion, when I was watching the show, while Ples was personally my favorite because I relate to her most, we're sorority sisters, we had the same opinions about a lot of things. So yes, personally, I connected the most with Ples in the panel, but I thought that Schoolboy was like the fan favorite. I felt like when you would go in the chat and look in the chat, everybody loved Schoolboy. So like, if people can be in the chat praising Schoolboy, why can't someone praise Pledge? And to praise someone is not to diminish you. Let that person get their flowers that day, and the next day you might get your flowers, you know.
That's true. I think that they all brought something different. You know, they all brought something different. Pledge, just she brought like a very like rational perspective. Schoolboy was funny. Bishop was also funny as well too. They all brought something different. And Monica, I mean not Monica, but what's her name? Marcella. Marcella always brought like different inside perspective when it comes to especially RHOP and stuff. So I think they all brought something different. They all contributed to the panel. So it's okay, like if maybe someone agrees with what players had to say or so. So I think it's definitely it's there's nothing wrong with that. Marcella just messy a little.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I think Marcella, I don't see I didn't really I think Marcella came towards the end. I just remember her coming in as a guest when she would do like RHOP stuff. And that's because I like RHOP. So that's when I really watched a lot of like the panel and stuff. So the show. So
I don't know. I didn't I have not been watching the panel as much as I had, so I didn't even know that she was a full-time panelist. I didn't know that I would see her on there from time to time, but I didn't know that she was like a full-time panelist. But I also don't think that it's fair to blame one person for the downfall of a 5-6 panel show. If there were issues behind the scenes, there were issues behind the scenes, and we just didn't see it.
that's true. And at least all of them, like when it okay, yes, at the end of the day, like they all it's YouTube at the end of the day. Like if plus said she hit her subscriber count because that's what they would be kind of maybe they discussed about. So at the end of the day, like you guys are all like Schoolboy's making her video. She gives her some of her perspectives. I'm like, oh, okay, like she'll be funny with her perspective and stuff. So I feel like at the end of the day, like everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something different to offer. Even Monica as well, too. They all had something different to offer, and that's why. I mean, they would have never got to 100,000 subscribers if the channel wasn't if the panelists and the channel wasn't doing well. So I feel like they all brought something to they all brought something to the table for sure. Definitely for sure. And I remember I think Ples. I also who did I okay, I think I remember hearing Ples speak. No, I think yeah, it was definitely on All About the Tea when she gave her perspective on the Monique and Candace situation. I was like, oh well, like she's very logical. She's a logical. She sees things from different perspectives. So that's why I was like, okay, I like Ples. I do. Okay, well, we have been on here for quite a while, almost an hour and 37 minutes. Wow. We've been on here for quite a while. So I think if you have anything else to add or any other perspective, we will definitely love to hear. Other than that, we are going to maybe probably end the live. What do you think, Lucy?
Thank y'all for having me on and let
All
me sit up here
right.
and chit chat.
Yeah, thank you, B. Make sure you check out her channel. Thank you so much.
You guys check out her channel at B Stokes Styling.
Thank y'all.
You're welcome.
Okay, so yeah, we've been out here for quite a while. Let's see. Yeah, anything else?
No, but we
I think let's pick if you want to share your perspective, let us know at the link. Other than that, we will maybe call it.
yeah, if you anything else to say before we close this up, go ahead and call in. We did just share the live the link to call in. Yeah, so go ahead, and we'll just stay here for a little bit. But if not, we'll go ahead and close this down. And thank you all so much for joining us and just hearing our perspective.
Yeah, I think we touched up on pretty much everything we were uh, as far as in this situation. I know there's other stuff that is going on, but for the main part, we pretty much touched up on it. So okay, hold on.
Okay,
Let
hold
me
on. Let me
chat. What are
chat.
people doing? Okay, let me catch up on the chat. Marcel is literally have to join. Yeah, I think like with okay. I think is this essence? Essence, yeah, for sure. That's what happens in any group that you join. There's always going to be a breakout star. Always going to be a breakout star for sure. Oh, Marcel.
Oh,
Okay,
Marcel.
Marcel.
Okay, Marcel.
Oh, see, I remember. Okay, when I did watch the channel when Marcella was on there, I did remember okay. One thing I would have to say was Marcella would give um Marcella would give a lot of she'll give a lot of like money. She'll donate a lot of money to the channel, like super chats and stuff. So I think she was definitely like um really invested in the channel. I mean, she donates a lot of. From what I see, she would donate a lot of money to the channel. She would. Marcella would. Okay, so what is going on? Okay, so the Bojangles president came out and denounced Monica from All About the TSB. Oh, okay. I don't know why. Where did that? How did people know that this was Monica was Monica? Like Monica Styles was not Monica from all. Like where were people? That's yeah. I think. Oh yeah, she does. She does. She does. Donate a lot. You're right, thick girl 40. Yeah, she does. She's very generous when it comes to donation and stuff. So, oh, Bishop is going live. Interesting. I will. I think I will probably see what his perspective is. Yeah, I don't know either. I just all automatically seen like Monica's. I'm like, who? Like, where is people getting that from?
Yeah, seems like people are relating. I'm hearing there's a Monica Souls, and they're saying that Monica, they're connecting her with Monica all about the tea. I mean,
I,
where?
Oh, Monica, Marcella personally knows. Yeah, I think because she really gives like in depth insights. I think this is Hee Lee. Yeah, she does give in depth insights about what's going on in Potomac. That's why I like to listen to like any scoops that she has, with, especially with Potomac, because I don't know, I like Real Housewives of Potomac. So she always has like a lot of inside scoop. All right. I think it is. Yeah, we've been on here for like almost 2 hours. So, Lucy, do you have anything else to add? I think. Do you have anything else to add?
No, but we do want to thank you all so much for joining us today. And everyone who just came out, of course, join the live too. We really do appreciate that. Please do join us. We do go live. Just, I mean, we do have reviews and stuff out and stuff, and also um, we go live every so often. So please continue to support us and show us this kind of love. We are a small YouTuber, and we all growing as well. We also love to engage with our supporters and our subscribers. So this gives us more chance to kind of also connect with you all. And yeah, and move from there. Again, we so much appreciate you all as well. And of course, don't forget to follow B Stokes Styling. She was also one of the speakers here today. Head over to her channel as well and show her support as well.
Okay, I have to add one more thing. Okay, because everyone's talking about this Monica stuff. Okay, so yes, I do agree. I think it's essence. I do agree. Like people really do go deep, really go deep in their investigation, especially on YouTube. That is why Monica wants to keep her identity. She wants to conceal her identity because people are really going deep. And mind you, when she does, she says bits and bits. So it's going to make it impossible. Well, it's going to be difficult for you to even figure out who she is. Okay, so he's not talking about the situation. Wait. Okay. Okay, so that's a little harsh. So people take things too far. That's what I'm saying. Like they really be taking things way too far. It is wrong. Like leave her kids out of this. Like that is just wrong. All right, guys, we're going to end this live. Thank you guys so much for joining in. So make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. Please support our channel with your subscription. We'll be going live later on this week. If anything else, like if we need to report on anything else or talk about anything else, have another conversation, we definitely will. But thank you guys so much once again. Have a great day. Peace, love, and blessings.